if we're going to use the half angle identity, which I'll tell you guys to have, as I mentioned, guys, one of the first things we can do to understand this is just write in sine of theta divided by 2 is equal to the square root of plus or minus 1 minus cosine of theta over 2. That's exactly the same thing as we have over there, except u instead of theta instead of u. Yes? Yeah. So I just rewrote the formula. OK. So now let's kind of go into what we have. We have the formula. We need to figure out, if we want to figure out what the sine of theta over 2 is, first of all, we've got to figure out what theta is. Well, what do we know? The only thing we know is sine of 7 pi over 12. What is 7 pi over 12? 7 pi over 12 is theta divided by 2. Does that make sense? Yes? No? Reef, look.
You just exchange them?
They're the same. Sine of 7 pi over 12 is the same thing as sine of pi over 2. That means pi over 2, I'm sorry, theta over 2 is equal to 7 pi over 12.
Oh,
then we got to solve for theta. So we multiply by 2 on both sides. Theta equals, now you can multiply by 2 and reduce, or you could say that's the same thing as 7 pi over 6.
Oh, so you just leave the top as 7 pi?
Well, yeah, because I mean, you could do 14 over 12, but that reduces to 7 pi over 6.
OK. I didn't know how to do that.
Well, now you do.
No, I do.
Are we OK with how I found what theta was? Yeah. We need theta. Why do we need theta? Because that's what we plug into our formula. Now, the next thing is, I'm not sure why I'm competing with any other group. The next thing is we need to figure out, should we use plus or minus or both of them? Well, again, that depends on where the angle is. 7 pi over 12, where is 7 pi over 12? Halfway around circle here is 12 pi over 12, right? So 7 pi over 12, somewhere like over there, is sine positive or negative right there? Positive. Positive. So we just need to worry about the positive form. So then we do 1 minus cosine of theta. What was theta? 7 pi over 12? No, it's 7 pi over 6. All over 2. Now, can we figure out, do we know what cosine of 7 pi over 6 is? Square root of 3 over 2. Is it positive or negative? Negative, because it's 7 pi over 6. You've got to think there. That's in the third quadrant. So it's to the left. So therefore, it's going to be negative. Yes? Huh? That's the problem. That was the original question. Sine is 7 pi over 12. So if you use the half angle identity, that means you're saying this is equal to pi divided by 2. So then you just set them equal to each other to solve for theta.
Then why don't you just use that and be in the third quadrant?
Huh?
Why won't you just use that?
We are using that.
No, like it would be in the third quadrant, it would be negative.
Yeah, but that's not how the formulas work. The formulas are based off the original angle. OK? Are we ready to continue?
They're based off the original. Yes.
The angle is based off the original. Is theta? The plus or minus is based off of theta divided by 2, not theta. So now we just go ahead and figure out and say, all right, so cosine is 7 pi over 6. That's negative square root of 3 over 2. Please note how I'm using parentheses, because a lot of people will not use parentheses, and they'll get the plus or minus wrong. And on a multiple choice test, you can probably guess. You're probably going to have one answer that's right, or two answers that's like the same numbers, and one will be positive, one will be negative. So just by doing a small mistake, by like mixing up those things, could be the difference of getting the problem right or wrong. Okay? And then that's all divided by 2. Well, guys, I could simplify this.
So graphing 7 pi over 12 just tells you if it's negative or positive?
That's the reason why I did that, yes. Just determine if it was positive or negative. But you don't really need to graph it. You could probably do like, 12 over 12 is pi. 7 pi. Oh, OK, that's second quadrant. However, if I was doing cosine, we would have to make this negative, right? Yeah. So I have square root of 3 over 2 divided by 2. And now, just kind of like I did in the warm-up, you could multiply by 1/2 on the top and bottom. I am going to multiply by 2 over 2. And just make sure you guys use parentheses again. Again, another big mistake or common mistake students make. And then here, in this case, guys, you take the square root of the numerator and denominator. And then now, since I've already showed you guys in the last video, I'm just going to take that 2 out. So I'm going to leave that as 1/2, 2 plus the square root of 3. Did I say last video? Well, the last problem I did for you guys. It was technical.